Let's go have a look at the Mosquito. Friday afternoon and not very crowded. I sure like a quiet museum. And we are at the and here's a Mosquito. There's not too many of these around. They're made of wood. With two Merlin engines. This one was a trainer, so it survived the war. And afterwards they dressed her up a little bit, put 8 guns in her. She's beautiful. Here's the plaque. And then here is the story of this airplane. I like the way they do these plaques. Let's look at that engine. Let's look at that. Let's zoom in on that. We'll zoom here. Beautiful. Just kind of wiggled into this little corner with a P-47 on the other side. And this Russian thing right here is really rare. Really, really rare. I was reading a thing. Oop, I walked into a post. I was reading a thing in my studies of this aircraft, and it said that there was no flying examples left in the world today. But they are wrong, because this one right here flies. I have video of this one flying in 2017 right here at Paine Field, Washington. Paul Allen watching her fly. But I don't think it's flown since 2019. It's a very special plane. And it's now owned by the Watson family. That propeller boss is so big. Wow, it's like almost 3 feet across. And the diameter of the prop is ginormous. That is huge. Kind of like 14 feet. I'm gonna look it up and find out exactly. The inboard wings are entirely radiators. They're completely radiators for the engines. Big flap section down there. The bomb bay doors are open in this one. Let's see if we can look in there. Get way down low and see if we can look. They're not that big. And this one's been converted to carry guns for ground attack. 8 big guns. This is not all that small. And it's mostly made of wood. Wooden fabric. This Mosquito was built in Leviston, England, as a training aircraft in 1945. The plane was among the last of the type to be retired from the RAF service in 1963. Turned over to the Imperial War Museum, the Mosquito appeared in the 1964 film 633 Squadron, so still flying. After filming, the plane was displayed in Imperial War Museum facility until 1988. The Imperial War Museum is in England, and it does have more than one location. They have stuff all over the place. They have a massive collection. One of the finest aviation collections in the world, as a matter of fact. This plane was traded to this museum here in 2003. and it was sent to a place in New Zealand for restoration to flight status. It was returned to the skies in late 2016. While the plane retains some aspects of a trainer, additions were made to give the Mosquito the appearance of a wartime FB Mark 6 fighter bomber. This aircraft has dual controls and can be flown from either side of the cockpit, but I understand that some Mosquitoes weren't. They didn't have the dual controls. And over here, they have one of the engines sitting on the ground, and they've kind of cut it away a bit so you can see inside it. It's really well done. It's a Rolls-Royce Merlin Mark 25 V12 engine, and it is gorgeous. They built thousands of these things, probably over 100,000. More were built by license in the United States by Packard, and this is what powered the P-51 Mustang and a few other planes. It was probably the best V-shaped aircraft engine of the Second World War. The blowers at the back here, that's where the air is compressed to go in. Comes up that pipe there, and it's fully compressed. Sure, gearing of the valve train, pretty nice. And these were very dependable engines. You see how fat the cylinders are here. About 5 inches across. Valves are about 1.5 inches. And there's 4 valves per cylinder on this guy. So that was pretty revolutionary. It cut the crank so you can see the bottom of the rods and the crank. Pretty neat. It's nicely counterbalanced. I wonder what went here. Big oil filter? Next to it is a cutaway of the most famous reciprocating aircraft engine of the Second World War, and this was a very, very reliable engine. Again, supercharger internal, compressed air in the big jacket around here. And this area here is compressed, and it blows into the top of the cylinders. Here's a giant magneto cut in half. That's your ignition, making your sparks. Run by all these planetary gears off the front here. Slow it down. Oh, a nice little cutaway of a constant speed prop hub and the heavy gearing so the blades can change pitch. And this is a Pratt & Whitney R28 engine. And how many did they make? Let's look it up. They made more than 125,000 of these. And let's read this other plaque over here and see how many of the Merlins they made. It'll be on this plaque right here. They made 55,000 of them in the United States. Bunch more in Europe, but probably most were made in the States. So this aircraft is made of wood, and it's basically designed around 2 Rolls-Royce Merlin V12 engines. The first flight was in 1940, and they built 7,781 of these. 5,007 were built in the UK, and the rest were built in Canada and Australia. 27 different versions were produced, notably night fighters and reconnaissance aircraft. It was the highest flying plane of World War II, and it was extensively used to take pictures of what they were up to. There's only about 30 of these remaining today, and I read a report that said that there are no flying examples, but that report is wrong, because this one right here flies. Flaps down.
Bye.